Good Monday morning.
Good morning, Mark. How are you today?
I'm doing well, Dave. How are you?
I'm pretty good. It's a very interesting weekend. Got a lot of work done, but also had some self time and actually some family time, which helped as well. Which doesn't happen a lot for me these days, but it's working out.
That's good. So
Yeah.
what's new with us? This is the beginning of the fourth week we're doing this. What's new to tell everyone?
Well, I think the most important thing, Mark, is that everybody needs to get some kind of level. I think they need to get some kind of routine. If they're not in a routine, maybe they don't need the routine, but they need to do the old thing we used to say in the 60s and 70s called keep on keeping on. This is something that this could last, as long as people are saying, and it could last not that long. I mean, there are some people out there that are probably overly optimistic and some people that are overly pessimistic. You cannot get caught up in the minutia, in the bullshit of what everybody's saying. I watched news this morning for 5 minutes and that was all I could take. That's 5 minutes every 2 weeks I give myself of the news. I read an update every day and I look at it and say that's enough. But I think one of the things that I think really people should look into is I've said that this is an opportunity for everybody. And I really think we need to look at that. Like yesterday I fixed a little problem in my roof. And that's like more of a metaphor for life and stuff. I mean, look into yourself and look in the mirror and see what you can do to help yourselves and to maybe not fix stuff, but adjust some things that you've always wanted to do, but you've always said, I don't have the time. I don't have the time. Well, you didn't have the time because you really didn't want to do it. Now get some desire and get some commitment in you. What do you think of all that, Mark?
I think you're 100% right. I think that now's the time to, keep focusing on moving forward, on the positive that's going on around us, checking in and sharing with our friends and family right now, just making sure everyone's good and fixing what needs to be done in order to be able to move forward when this is all over.
No, absolutely. I mean, I'm not being rude. I am actually sharing things. So
while you do that, let's welcome our guest today.
Okay, great.
We have Michael Meier from Meier International Real Estate. Good morning, Michael.
Hi, everybody. How you doing? Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing great. It's a beautiful morning. It's supposed to be a nice day. The weather's supposed to be getting up to like 63 today. For people on the East Coast, that's great.
It was nice weather yesterday. I got to go on a bike ride with my kids, so
yeah,
good time for outdoor time.
Totally. It's a blessing that it's and all the crap that's going on right now. It's a blessing that it's not like 20 degrees.
Right.
Absolutely.
Well, this
Michael, how are you? I've met a couple of times over.
I know, of course, man. Of course, we've gone through some similar coaching experiences.
Yes, we have.
Know you through Chet Black.
That's correct, sir.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. And
is everything good with you?
Everything is good. It's
a misnomer to say everything is good, but everything in your mind is good, I guess.
The mind is good because I just said to Mark, I said one of the things we need to do is keep on keeping on. It's something we used to do way back in the 70s. And you know what? What's that?
We need like a soundtrack going on, like Eye of the Tiger or like.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I should have it in the back. Like some old Moody Blues or something like that. But and the Moody Blues were in the 80s too. So anyway, Mark, it's just
before we get started, Mike, I know you have some family members or doctors. I want to say, thank you to them for being on the front lines, dealing with everything that they deal with. So, I'm sure you hear stories from them throughout the week and days, but thank you doctors and nurses out there that are taking care of everyone.
Yeah, no, thank you. Welcome. I have a sister and a dad who are an OBGYN. I have a big practice in New Jersey. And then I have a sister who's a pediatrician, married to an orthopedic oncologist. I have a sister who's a nurse. So yeah, and I have a father-in-law who's a urologist in Texas. And then I have a brother who's an attorney that represents doctors. So all those are busy.
Wow.
So thank you to all of them. It's really nice to know that they are on the front lines helping with this cause.
Thank you. I'm sure they appreciate that. Thank you.
Guys, if I could real quick, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank my brother Jim, who is he's a CEO of a hospital group, pretty big shot up in Rhode Island, and he runs 3 hospitals. And I want to thank him he's been really he's been helpful for me to keep my mind straight and telling me what's going on and what his situation is. But you know, they have not been hit that hard up there yet. But he's ready for it. And I want to give a shout out to my brother, Dr. Jim Fanale.
Thank you, doctor.
Yeah. So Michael, tell us what's you're a big broker in the city, Manhattan. What's going on with real estate throughout Manhattan right now?
It's a different pace. Things are being done quite differently. So in Manhattan right now, it's a state of emergency. And what that means for us in the real estate industry is the governor has said that Cuomo has said that we are not allowed to go out there and show homes. And we're also not allowed to do any cold calling, telemarketing as well at this time. So some pretty big restrictions on us. I don't necessarily disagree with the restrictions. I don't think it's a smart time to go and show homes. I think it's not a smart thing to do for you or your clients. But that's the reality of the situation. So those are the major challenges that we're having right now. At the same time, there are transactions that are taking place, definitely not near the volume of where they were. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it and say everything's peachy. You know, we are in the middle of a pandemic. It's not peachy. But there are transactions that are happening. There are deals that were in the pipeline beforehand that, you know, we're working on closing. I did get 2 listings while this, in the last 2.5 weeks, while this pandemic has been going on. We're figuring out what we're going to do, how we're going to do. We're kind of softly marketing it between brokers and different things that we're doing. And the number of listings that are on the market, I'm sure this is probably across the board all over the place, but in New York City, the number of listings that are on the market have dramatically dropped, obviously. People aren't generally putting their places on the market right now, and some people have delisted their properties from the market. So that's in general from a market perspective. But we have also had some deals that were put together during this pandemic. So, you know, there are people that need to move, and there are people that they're looking to rent an apartment, and they're, you know, renting an apartment isn't such a huge commitment. You're not there forever. You're there for a year or 2, whatever. So you can get a good deal right now, and you can see it on photos, and boom, you get your rental, you do it online, and you finish with it. And people that are looking to buy, well, New York City has the benefit of, apartments are, a lot of the reason you buy an apartment is because of the neighborhood. A lot of times the reason you buy the apartment is because of the building. So if you happen to know the building or you happen to know the neighborhood, it makes it a little bit easier to get you and wrap your head around seeing an apartment virtually or through pictures. As a firm that happens to have tapped into a lot of international clients over the years, a lot of our clients never see the apartment. They're buying it from overseas. So changed, but still there is activity.
Right. So one thing we've been discussing the last few weeks is that we've been advising people to put their house on the market because they're getting more eyeballs through the internet, through good pictures and videos than we were getting 2 months ago. Our hits on our listings are up between 300% and 400% because we're looking at houses. So do you guys take a look at, of the views and how do you determine whether it's right to advise a client to put on the house on the market or wait?
Yeah, a lot of it really depends. First of all, it depends if their place is vacant or not. Right. If your apartment is vacant and a buyer could go to the apartment by themselves. So like I have a couple of listings that we have on the market right now that we are showing. And what I mean by showing is we send pictures, we do videos. And if the buyer wants to go out and see the property, and this is kind of like a daily thing we're deciding based on what advice we're getting by the board and stuff like that. But they could go to the property on their own. They can walk in there, and if it's vacant, we're not really worried about them exposing anybody to anything. We make them turn on their FaceTime, get the key, go in, and so on and so forth. So there are things that can be done like that. So if it's vacant, it's one thing, if there's an owner that's there, we're not going to show the home. We're not going to allow somebody to go into an owner's apartment. Even if the owner's cool with it, I'm not cool with it.
Right.
So I'm not going to do that. So I don't want to expose anybody, even if they're willing to be exposed. So if you have places, then it's a little bit different. I'll get them to list the property with me so I can start doing work. But most of my work is going to be reaching out to other agents and basically shaking the trees. There's a limited number of agents that do most of the business in the city. So we exchange information with one another in that way. It's kind of very old school real estate. And this way, there's another way. But it's really, and if it's an apartment that's a very investor-friendly apartment that somebody might never need to see anyways, then it's okay. Then I can put it on the market and somebody might buy it sight unseen. It really depends on the situation. It's really hard to generalize.
Right.
So Michael,
that makes sense.
Is there any prospecting per se going on at all? And what's going on with that? How are you handling that in the city?
Yeah, so we're very into prospecting in my firm. We're all about making connections. And right now we are not allowed to cold call. You can't be going out there calling expireds and for sale by owners and just calling, people in the buildings, and you can't do all that kind of stuff right now. So really what we're focusing on is you can call it prospecting. It's more relationship building with the database that we have. We fortunately have a very big database. And so now it's really spending that time cultivating those relationships with people. So I'll give you an example. I tell my agents, and I do this myself. I produce myself. I transact quite a bit. I like transacting. I like buying, selling, and renting homes. So one of the things I have is I have this database, and I'm always trying to touch my past clients. I'm trying to touch my current clients. I'm trying to touch people in my sphere of influence. And how do you touch them throughout the year, right? You reach out to them on holidays. You reach out to them when you have something going on in the market. And when else should you reach out to them? On their birthday. But I find that because I'm so busy so much of the time, when do I reach out to them on their birthday? When I happen to see on Facebook that it's their birthday that day. And hopefully I'm lucky enough to catch it, and so on and so forth. And if not, it's like, oh, hey, sorry, happy for the belated birthday, right?
Right.
And I said, I don't want to be like that. I want to send them a card on their birthday. I want to honor their one special day, right? So I've been going through my database, and I've been reaching out to every single one of my past clients and saying, hey, these times get us to remember that the personal relationships are the most important things. And I really don't want this year to go by and not know in advance to be able to honor your birthday. So when's your birthday? And that's what I'm doing. And I'm building now. So now for every past client, I have 2 automated touch points. One is, I already started working on this before, is the date of the sale, because that's the one day, unique day that you have something in common with that person. It's the only day really of the year that you and your past client have something in common. You both share that closing day, right? Mm-hmm. So there's number one is that day. The second day is going to be their birthday. So now I have 2 days that I can reach out to people very personally and do in that way. And that's aside from all the other usual touch points. So that's what I'm doing. And creating a few videos. I thought it might be uncomfortable to reach out to people and ask for their birthday, because people are sometimes a little bit weird about, even though they put it on Facebook, they're weird about sharing their birthday. They think I'll sell the information or something. I don't know what people think. It's just weird. We're all weird about that. So I created a video, and my kids happen to be jumping all over me like they are every minute. They probably will in a minute. And I was telling people why I was asking for their birthday. I created this little video. And I got so many people responding in a very positive way about video and the kids and, them beating me up. So I got a really good response to that. So these are, I think people will remember seeing my kids jumping on me while I'm in quarantine more than they'll probably remember anything else I send them all year. So these are just opportunities where it's very easy to connect with people because we're all going through the same crap at the same time. Right.
Very true. It's funny because when I first started, one of the ways I was prospecting was I was looking up tax records of all the people I wanted to do business with to see when they closed on their house. And I would send them a house anniversary card, even though I wasn't a realtor.
Oh,
and I would say, happy 5-year house anniversary from your local realtor. Now, I wasn't the one who sold them the house, but I was the one congratulating them. And over time, I got referrals because of it. Because like people, 10, 12 years don't remember who was that sold their house, or maybe they're not working in the market anymore. And there's I get this card from an agent every year. Sometimes I get a scratch off, right? Sometimes I would do a $1 scratch off back in the day. And I would get referrals like that. And it was incredible. And I had this whole list. And every month I would send out handwritten cards. And it was an incredible tool to reach people when I was first getting started.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So I've also gone back to apartments that I've sold, because I work a lot with sellers. And I've been sending, even if the buyer had a broker on their side, then I'll also send a anniversary of the date, card. And hopefully their last agent is doing a good job and my card gets thrown out. But a lot of times the agent that sold it kind of just vanished. And so, great,
I mean, we all know
someone service it.
90% of agents aren't sending the cards out.
Exactly.
99% of agents aren't sending cards out.
True. And one of the things that I've been doing is I've been doing video text and video DMs, just to say hello, how you doing? Just reaching out, tell you I was thinking about you today. That's what I've been doing, and it's getting a great response as far as that. And it's something I will continue to do as time goes on.
Right.
Yeah. Something that I've realized it's maybe counterintuitive, and I know a lot of coaches have been kind of advising maybe against it. I don't know, but it's worked for me. So like, I'm pretty straight shooter. I'll just call what I see. I get a lot of coaches telling me you got to be incredibly optimistic, and you have to be just there's so much negativity out there that you have to glow with positivity. And of course, I agree. I'm wired to be positive, fortunately, thank God. But I've had, we all have had some unfortunate situations happen in the last few weeks. I've had a few people that I know that have passed away, some people that I was close with, and just like whether they had pre-existing conditions or not doesn't matter. This happened now, and so when I've been communicating with people, and I tell people, listen, it's a hard time, and these are some of the things that I've been going through, and I'm sure you have too. And it just helps to connect because we're all in this kind of real world, and both grief and joy connect people in some way. So I'll always end up with there's light at the end of the tunnel, and I try to take a learning experience. I think I'm Jewish. I think I was brought up. We always are looking in Judaism at like all these like bad things that have happened to us over time, and we're always like, what can we learn from that? How can we grow from that? What's the what's the meaning of that? So like you got to like kind of see things like that, and you look at the experiences now. You're like, what can we learn from this? We can learn about how to connect with people more. Right. What can we learn about this? What can we learn about what's most important in our life? That's usually how I end it with. Right. And it's been, people have been receiving it quite strongly, positively, however you want to say it.
That's actually how we started today. I was talking about, like I said, keep on keeping on, but it's also, there are things like yesterday I fixed a hole in my roof, but that's like a great metaphor to, start working on fixing some things, taking advantage of the time, and that this is not as, I'm trying to put a positive light on stuff that you have an opportunity to work on yourself and work on your business as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Were you on the 5 a.m. call?
No, I was not.
That was a call.
Was it really?
Yeah. That's great.
So Michael, what advice would you give out to everyone right now? Any last words that you want to share with anyone?
I don't think it's rocket science, guys. You guys all have opportunities now to reach out to people. I think people will be pretty receptive if you're coming from a good place, if you're coming from an authentic place, if you're just being a real person. If you really don't care at all about the people that you're reaching out to, just don't reach out to them because it's pointless. And if you really do care about those people that you're reaching out to, then you're probably in the right business. And you should reach out to them. And I have like one person that's been asking me like, Michael, but I feel like fake when I'm reaching out to the person because I feel like they don't want to talk to me. They don't want to hear from me. They're not looking to do real estate right now. Like they have so much on their head. And I just feel uncomfortable. And I keep on saying to them, you number one, don't get into other people's heads. Like it's like a ABC of psychology. You don't know what's going on in someone else's black box. Right. You have no idea what's going on in their box. Right. Don't try to get into their head and think about how are they going to receive the message that I'm giving. Doesn't matter. You're not giving the message for them. You're giving the message for you. Right. And you need to think about what is a good message. So if you reach out to somebody and say, hey, how you doing? We're all going through some hard times. It's just a check-in. Just want to make sure everything's okay with you. If they receive that badly, that's their problem. Right. Most people won't receive it badly, and you can check off those people that receive it badly because they're not your people. You guys are not syncing. Your energy levels are very different. So this is your time to like register your good people, X off your people that think you're full of shit. They'll always think you're full of shit.
Right. That's a great segue because one big thing that I push a lot is about doing good for others, right? And that's always been my tagline: how do we do good for others? And we're going to bring on Michael. Why don't you stay on with us? Bring on Mitchell Schneider. morning or afternoon for you, Mitchell.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good. So he created a Do Good by Others group now, and it started throughout this last few weeks. So Mitch, good morning or afternoon for you. You're in Israel, but tell us a little bit about it.
So good morning, everybody. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, it's funny, Michael. You're talking a lot about authenticity, about doing good things. I mean, I started watching this show during the whole COVID fiasco that we're in right now. And I am not in real estate. I'm a marketer by heart. Runs through my DNA. But somebody said to me a few weeks ago, maybe you should start rebranding yourself. You would do a great job maybe as maybe a real estate broker. Don't be don't go full on with real estate. Just maybe I'll be a broker. And I don't know anything about the real estate world. So I said, you know what, the best place for me to learn would probably be with Mark and his team, exactly what he's been doing, somebody who I've been following throughout his entire career. And I said, let me see if I get my feet wet, get an idea what's going on. But between all the conversations that Mark and Dave have been having, one of the common denominator that I received from it was do good by others. It's something that whenever I left the show, I was kind of like, these guys are really onto something really authentic. When you do something that others can really learn from, be inspired from, I think you're onto something greater than just yourself. I think the economy of what we're seeing today is going to be taking a tremendous shift, and you guys are seeing it in real estate. It's going to be more authentic economy. I think everybody's going to be looking at helping each other, because while we're all isolated right now from everybody else, we're all going to come out through this looking to reconnect and really be authentic with one another and see how we can help each other out. I don't think it's going to be a dog-eat-dog world anymore. I think we're all going to be looking at each other, so looking for help. And I think that I took that idea and I ran with it. And I built a website called dogoodbyothers.com. And all this whole website is just about empowering people and showing off what they're doing. What good have they done? There's a story that I featured. It was about a nurse coming home from a long shift at the hospital, and the way her family welcomed her home was really heartwarming. If this was 6 months ago and she came home from work, nobody really batted an eye or really appreciated her. But we understand what's going on in the hospital today, and here's their family who lined up by the door, clapped as she came home. And it really makes a difference when you put in those long, hard hours, especially dealing with the COVID patients, with all the symptoms that they have. And then you coming home to just unwind, to come home and feel appreciated is really an amazing feeling. So I think if I could just find all those stories and empower those people to tell those stories, that's wonderful. On the other hand, it also opens up the opportunity to really speak about people, in the different fields, whether it be real estate or anything else, to talk about how can I help you? And if there's a way that I could tell their story on my site about, here are some great people who are willing to help you, lend an ear, some advice, whatever it may be, I think things will be great for everybody.
Right. So it's really about, doing that good for others, but inspiring others to do good as well. And that's Correct. One thing I know that both Dave and Michael, always do is they want to lead by example. Michael, I've been watching you for years as well. And you've inspired me to be a better real estate broker just by watching what you've done and how you built your business. And Dave, also, the way that you care about coaching new agents through the process to make sure they're successful is just, inspires me to want to do more good for others. So I think that you're right, Mitch, that everything is going to, come together in a new way when people see and get inspired by others and what they're doing, and stuff that we may have not really cared about before, but now becoming a front of our minds.
Exactly. I think that we're going to be seeing that if we all just start working with each other a lot more instead of seeing everybody as competition, because I think in the right mind, we really aren't that so much, competitors with anybody else. Why am I choosing you as a realtor? Is because maybe you went that little extra mile and I didn't choose the other guy, but you guys, you're both nice. but it's always that person who has that added something that I'm going to choose, whether it be that dollar scratch off, there's got to be something. So I think if we all find a way, I know it's a very high up thinking of we're all going to be working together, but I think honestly, if we can all just kind of see how we can help each other, I think we're all just going to be in a better place moving forward. And I think that now, especially with this show, you can find so many different deals or create and foster all these great relationships that moving past the COVID pandemic, it's going to be great for everybody. It's a win-win.
Just want to add one thing is because I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of different people watching this show. I know you guys all have a lot of followers and all that kind of stuff. Is that if somebody's an agent or if somebody's just an entrepreneur or really anybody that does something with their time, everybody, right now you have this ability to kind of cut out the fat, so to speak, of what you do, right? Like there's so much that you can't do right now that it forces you to, just to be much simpler. Like we're all running much simpler lives, right? I mean, it feels much more complicated managing like the kids and a business, and like it seems much more complicated. But at the same time, like I'm not leaving my house. I'm not dealing with commuting. There's just a lot less things that I'm dealing with. And on the one hand, it makes you nervous. It makes me very nervous to not be able to do certain things. Like being forced to stay still is for me a very challenging thing. I like to move all the time, but staying still is sometimes the most important thing to do. So for me, I'm trying to like say, okay, I can't do this today. Do I really like to do this? I can't do that today. Do I really like to do this? Am I happier that I'm not doing it, right? Some things you're gonna have to do. Other things you might be able to figure out some other way to do it, some other way to replace that activity, to hire someone else to do that activity, to change your business, or even on the simplest level, you're a real estate agent, you do X, Y, and Z to grow your business. Which one of those things do you like doing and not like doing? And which of those things that you are able to do right now are going the furthest way? Like for me, getting people's birthdays is for me going the furthest way, and connecting with people is the thing that I enjoy the most doing. So it's just kind of interesting to, I think the worst thing that can happen to somebody in this experience, because hopefully we won't go through this again in our lifetime. The worst thing that could happen is if you go through this in this experience, and whether it's over in a month from now or in 5 months from now, if you went through this experience and it was just the time that you were stuck at home and financially you were hurt, because we all are getting hurt financially, whether that's all you take away from it, like, wow, that's shitty. This is an opportunity. Don't forget it.
Absolutely.
You'll remember your time with the kids now. You'll remember your time talking to your friends. You'll remember the watch parties. You'll remember going just things you don't normally do. So use it, learn from it, grow from it. Be you.
That's exactly what I've been trying to do is think about how I can become better at what I do. I mean, we talk about do good for others. My thing is I just want to help people. And it's like it's so symbiotic and so together and so parallel and so combined that I've got to be a better person. So I need to use this time myself, and I want others to see this, that you can become a better person. I mean, not that anybody's a bad person. I don't mean it that way. I mean, there's things that you can work on within that can also help outside you. So that's what I'm working on. And I want that to go out to others and help them with different things that I do on a daily basis. Right.
Right. Right. Now's the time to take a step back and take a look at, everything you've been doing for the last X amount of months or years, right? Because we've lived in a world where all we do in order to accomplish a task. But now we can take that step back and say, what do I like doing? Like Mike said, what do I like doing? What am I going to do? How am I going to do it? And make sure you're doing the right things now. And I love the fact, Mitchell, that you created this Do Good by Others, so people can share their stories and hopefully inspire others around the world. So definitely everyone take a look at that. There's a Facebook group also, I believe you started.
Yep.
So, share stories on there. But, at the end of the day, take the time, to reflect a little bit what you can work on yourself, how you can improve, what you like to do, and then be able to execute on that. And, in terms of this week is a brand new week. There's a lot going on between work, people trying to get things done and try to communicate. A lot of holidays coming up for everyone. Take a couple of minutes, go through your phone, pick 3 or 4 people every day, call them up, check in on them, see how they're doing. Make sure everyone's okay. Check on your small businesses that are in your community, in your towns. Make sure they're doing okay. See if there's anything they need. Everyone's going through a tough time right now. We'll go around and see if anyone wants to, leave us with any messages. Michael, we'll start with you.
Go out and do it, guys. Go have fun. Take advantage of what you can, and enjoy this opportunity in front of you guys. Thanks for having me on the show, Mark. Above all, thanks. I appreciate you reaching out to me, and I was glad to be with a bunch of top dogs over here.
Thanks so much,
Michael. Appreciate it.
Mitchell, you want to leave us anything? Any thoughts?
Yeah, I think you guys, hit the nail on the head. I really believe that, in addition, I think if you could just take out some time out of your day, maybe 30 minutes to 45 minutes, to really go out there and help somebody. Not just, phone calls are wonderful. Call 4 or 5 people. But I think if you could set up some time during your day to say, you know what, I'm allocating 45 minutes out of my day that if somebody needs my help, I'm going to go help them no matter what it is. It costs us nothing, but the 45 minutes we're home anyway, it could go a long, long way for somebody to just, go through an idea, maybe help them with their business, maybe, solidify some things. I think that's going to go a long, long way. And if anybody has a story that, are you willing to help? Are you really, putting yourself out there? I'd love to hear your story. Send me an email, info@dogoodbyothers.com. And I can't wait to feature anybody and everybody who just wants to help.
Dave?
Yeah, I just want to keep going on. I think what you need to get stronger with is your commitment to yourself. And when you get committed to yourself, you are more likely to help others, and just find out what your heart's all about and help. That's all.
Well, thank you all for coming on today, sharing with us your thoughts and where you're coming from. We'll see you back tomorrow. Dave, we have a special guest tomorrow.
Yeah, we do. We have Charlie Oppler coming on, who's the owner of Prominent Properties Sotheby's, but he's also, I believe, the president-elect of the National Association of Realtors. So Charlie's going to be on with us tomorrow.
So come back, check us out tomorrow, hear what he has to share with us. Everyone have a great day. Good luck today. If you have nice weather by you, enjoy the nice weather outside. Get there.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Mitch.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
See you.